Hi, I'm Earl Rector. Enough about me. Well, good morning and welcome back to the Mr. Mulcherman channel. Today we're out here in Gore, Oklahoma, and I'm working on a property that is an existing client of mine, and I've actually done quite a bit of work over the last couple of years out here at his place. But today we're focusing on the north side of his property, and as you can see, there's lots of opportunity here. So let's get started. Just continuing our work here today. There's some rain that's coming in probably within an hour or so. Property is quite a bit of rock in areas. Some of it is not not concentrated enough that prevents me from working in it. There are some areas where the rock is so predominant and abundant that I can't work in it. Okay, sometimes while I'm in the woods working, I will come across trees that are dead, have been dead for quite some time. And because the area that I'm clearing is so dense, there's really not much risk to anyone, obviously. But once I start clearing an area, these trees that are dead and will topple over with the slightest wind or nudge become a threat or potential problem to anyone walking through the woods or driving through the woods. The larger ones, you've probably heard the term called widow makers, and they're called that because with no indication, no forewarning, sometimes these larger trees can just simply fall over, and if they're large enough and the conditions are right and the timing is right, they can really present some serious harm to individuals. So what I like to do is I'm going through, as I come across these trees, I'll usually push them over. Typically they're too large to mulch up, but I will knock them over and then I'll stack them somewhere that the client can deal with them later as desired. So anyway, you can see, you know, I've got one here and there's one over here. Again, these aren't particularly that big per se, but there's several. And again, now that I've cleared out this area, I did take that one down just a moment ago. There's a whole potential group of 2 or 3 together right there. Those are a little bit larger. So again, just as a safety precaution and part of the clearing process, I do like to take these down as I come across them, and it looks better when I'm done, and it provides a safer experience going through the woods for the client. So let's take a look at how that gets done. Like I said, at any moment here it should start raining, and I'll put this up to the screen. I don't know if you can see it. Kind of move this a little bit, but that little blue dot, that's me. That's where I'm at. So I'm about to be engulfed a little bit here, but it'll be okay. Won't stop me from working. So the rain has arrived. Yeah, and I don't know if the video will capture that, but it's a good little soaker going on right now. Like I said, as long as the rain doesn't present any challenges with regards to getting stuck, then we just continue to work right on through it. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I've broken a tooth off the mulcher head, and it has caused it to go into an unbalanced state, which we don't like operating when it gets like that. It just vibrates everything, and can become damaging to the equipment as well. So I'm going to venture outside here, and even with the rain coming down, a little bit of lightning striking, we're going to get this done so we can get back into operation real quick. Pieces that I'm going to need: I've got a carriage bolt, I've got my carbide tipped tooth, I've got my tooth holders, and I have my 15/16 socket, and my pneumatic drill. We'll take this old socket off, put that in there, and hopefully we're going to make light work of this repair real quick. So get everything ready. Okay, here we go. It broke off right there. What a lovely day. Whoops. Thread it the right way. All right, we're back in business, just like that. Okay, so we got the replacement mulcher tooth back on the mulcher head, and we're powering it back up. We're going to get back in business here. Not working in these conditions. Very difficult at times to know with absolute confidence whether you can continue to work or not. I will say that the conditions are deteriorating with the more rain that falls, and in the area that I'm working, it is getting a little muddier. And if I were just driving straight through, I wouldn't have any concerns at all. The cranks do a phenomenal job of pushing through some pretty bad areas. The challenge becomes when you start working in those areas and the tracks begin to go in opposite directions. They begin to chew up the ground underneath you, and very quickly you can find yourself in a bad predicament. So you can see now that there's water starting to build up down in here in the bottoms where I'm working at the moment, and so far the ground seems to be holding up fairly well underneath me, but that could change. In fact, the conditions will probably only continue to get worse not just because of the additional rain that continues to fall, but the rain that has fallen begins to do its work as far as saturating the ground, and that makes the ground softer and presents more hazardous working conditions. So we'll just continue to push through and see how it goes. I don't know how well the camera will pick this up, but I'm just going to kind of show you when I talk about the conditions decaying, that's exactly what's happening right now. So as we just kind of drive through the area that I'm working in, I don't know if you can see, there's more water pouring down in. Kind of bring this up a little bit. There's water pouring down this hillside, and this is kind of coming right on through here, right in the area where I'm working. So, like I said, we'll just see how it continues to hold up, and we'll keep you posted. Okay, so there is one other hazard working in these conditions, and that is lightning. And the concern that I have when the lightning starts getting bad enough is, of course, at times I'm raising my mulcher head up in the air, and that could potentially make me a lightning rod, which I really don't want to be. So I just heard a very loud clap of thunder, which means there was a strike that was fairly close, and I'm just going to kind of hover here for just a moment and make sure that it's not going to get worse before it gets better. So I'm just kind of checking out the radar, and you can kind of see what it's doing. I hope you can see that clearly enough. But there's been a little cell of thunderstorm activity within the rain itself, and looks like I'm getting caught up in the very, very edge of that, so it doesn't look like they say these GoPros are waterproof. I'm going to put that to the test. Kudos to GoPro. They are definitely waterproof. Way to go, GoPro. So that was a pretty good hard rain that came through here. It lasted for, I don't know, maybe an hour, a little bit longer, but just to kind of give you an idea, we definitely have some water flow. And this is telling you kind of where I'm working. I'm working in an area where there's a draw from both sides. It's not as predominant to my left, but certainly coming down this hill here, and we're getting all the runoff right down in here to the bottom where I'm working. So that just kind of continues right on down that way. So I'll continue to work as the conditions allow, but they're only going to get worse as this water continues to saturate the ground more and more, making conditions a little bit more hazardous. So looks like the skid steer is going to need a bath after this job's over as well. It's pretty messy, it's pretty sloppy. Oh yeah, yep, a little bit of cleanup after this one. Okay, as I had mentioned earlier, I was getting concerned as the rain continued that the ground would continue to be saturated and therefore make conditions a little bit more challenging, and that's exactly what's happened. I've been working, and again, this camera probably doesn't really show, but there's a slope here, and I've been working down in that area below, pushing northerly towards the customer's property fence line. And as I've done so, like I said, it's just starting to get a little bit concerning about getting around in there and not getting stuck. So because of that, I've gone ahead and reached out to the client and indicated that we'll go ahead and call it a day today, and then we'll reschedule and come back when conditions are much improved. But anyway, appreciate you watching today. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you like it, again, remember to hit that like button and the subscribe button. And until next time, God bless.